New Jersey, Ohio, California, well, almost all the states.
Every game is a chance to correct a mistake you made the last time and to learn something new and experience something different. There's always something right on the horizon.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Quad Achumpunk, and welcome to the Fall Chess Challenge. I'm a board member for Chess in the Schools, and I'm also an alum. I'll turn over to Jen.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jennifer Shahadi. Thank you, Quad. And I am on the Chess in the Schools Advisory Board, and I'm also a former Chess in the Schools teacher back when I lived in New York City. So I'm really excited to be here with you, Quad, and to raise some money for this great cause. I actually just texted Chess to 44321 as I thought it would be fun to do it on the air. And awesome. They sent me a link, and I'm going to go to that link right now. But we have another special guest, Quad, right off the bat. We have a great roster of special guests.
Yes.
And one is with us right now. And actually, I think I used to teach her both at Chess in the Schools high school program, and before that, it's been a long time, but Anna Ginsberg, hello and welcome.
Hey, Jen, thank you. Yeah, Jen was one of my teachers at IS 13 when she taught at Chess in the Schools there and throughout the College Bound program. So great to be in the same space here. And my name's Anna Ginsberg. I'm a Chess in the Schools alum. I currently sit on the finance committee for Chess in the Schools and excited to be here tonight.
And that's right. You've used your incredible experience in chess to have a successful career in finance, right? Is that kind of how it went for you, and now you work in that field?
Exactly. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things about chess that, it teaches you to have confidence, same things that I applied to my career. And I think one of the cool, interesting things is, in chess, there's not a lot of women, and a lot of people would say maybe that's demotivating, but from my standpoint, that's one of the reasons I like finance as well. I'm the only woman on my team, and it kind of reminds me of back in the day, just playing chess at tournaments.
That's great. So you've learned to think of it as a positive. Love to hear it. And now today, you're actually going to be playing one of the simuls, right, Anna?
I am coming out of chess retirement. Go easy on me, Sam.
No, I actually remember playing Anna in one of her first games, one of the Chess in Schools tournaments, and I remember being terrified because she was there with one of her chess books, and she meant business and gave me a run for my money when I started, and lo and behold, became a way better chess player than I was under the tutelage of Jen for Shahade, and also because of Chess in the Schools. And now it's so great that we have become stewards of Chess in the Schools, her on the finance committee and me on the board, and really just trying to make sure that we continue to give the game to a lot of New York City Title IX students and low-income youth. And so thank you all for your support of Chess in the Schools in our first of its kind Fall Chess Challenge online.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And Quad, I see you're actually playing one of the games yourself today. So yeah. Am I allowed to give you any hints during the game? Not that they would necessarily help that much.
They probably wouldn't help, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just let me go through it. Mentally I came here to kick butt, Andrew Tang, I'm coming after you. Like it's not a game, but it is a chess game, but it's not a game, but you know what I mean? So we're gonna do this. And I welcome all kinds of criticism. I'm gonna be animated. I take this very seriously, and yeah, you better watch out.
All right, so now I'm on this site that I'm on a site to donate to Chess in the Schools.
Yeah.
Can you remind everybody how they do that if they're watching and they want to give a donation, but they aren't in time to play or didn't want to play one of these incredible grandmasters?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can actually text to give. If you want to text the number 44321, that's 44321. You can actually text a pledge and actually give through that. I believe, a link will be sent to you and you can make a donation to Chess in the Schools. We're here raising it for a very good cause. And remember, like, there's no dollar amount that's too small. Given COVID, what's going on right now, the importance of delivering chess to low-income youth could not be more important. So we really appreciate any donations that you're able to share, and we hope you enjoy the events we have today. And now, Jennifer, I have to go back to you because you did not do yourself justice when you were introducing yourself. Tell us a little bit more about, your accolades in chess and what chess means to you.
And I did it, Quad. I won. I actually passed the I'm Not a Robot challenge. it was hard. But we got there in the end.
Tremendous.
To click on the bicycles and it looked like motorcycles. But yes, I am a 2-time U.S. women's chess champion. Actually, I think I won those titles while I was working at Chess in the Schools. So maybe some of the kids I was working with rubbed off on me. I taught at the College Bound program, which I think is so special because it's all about bringing chess through all aspects of your life, not just becoming a champion, but also using it to go to good school or, prepare for that. And then I also taught at 318 a little bit. So yeah, it was really a great experience for me living in New York and teaching at Chess in the Schools. And I'm excited now. Now I'm working for US Chess, where I'm the women's program director. And I actually do work with Chess in the Schools, as I know that they are also very focused on getting more girls into the game, such as Anna. And by the way, we got 3 incredible players who are going to be doing these simuls. We've got Grandmaster Sam Shankland, former US chess champion. We also have John Bartholomew, international master, very well known for all of his great YouTube videos and work with Chessable. And we also have Andrew Tang, who recently signed with an esports company, Cloud9, and is now not only a chess player, but a Twitch star. So chess grandmaster, Twitch star, and you don't want to play him in Bullet.
But I do.
You do? Okay, good luck.
So, well, it looks like games have started.
All right, great. Well, the first one is John. John is the first one up.
Okay, so I'm supposed to be playing too, so I have to get out of this screen.
And I see like Sean Smith is currently playing against Andrew Tang. I think actually Andrew Tang started at 6:05, so just a few minutes ago.
Okay.
And okay, Sean Smith is obviously everybody's playing black is kind of traditional in simuls. Usually everybody plays black. And it looks like Sean's doing fine so far. Who else is playing against Andrew Tang? Got a few other players, Andy Lerner, Mark Maher. By the way, thank you everybody for your support, because we know that, this was a lot of significant donations have already been pledged even before we started any chess. And it's pretty exciting to see that, Claude. I think the total was about $20,000.
Yeah, I think, and do we have an update in terms of how much we've raised so far? I think we started the week at $20,000, but maybe we can get an update in terms of how much we've raised so far.
Yeah, I think I might even be able to find out myself, or somebody will let us know. Yeah, but it's really incredible, and like you said, it's so significant right now with the the situation with COVID-19. I think that chess is actually a really important solace for children right now, because it's one event that you can really pursue online, both in terms of training and in terms of playing. So it's really important to kind of keep with it and keep the kids playing.
No, you're absolutely right in terms of that. And I didn't mean to interrupt you, Jennifer, but I'm happy to announce that the new update for how much we've raised so far is $34,200. Wow. That is pretty amazing. And I want to give a shout out to John Payson. He was one of the first donations on Text to Give. John, thank you so much. We're looking to raise as much money as possible. And this is great. And we couldn't do it without you guys. And we're trying to make sure we get into the next generation by delivering online chess to kids. And we've really done a really great thing in terms of moving all of our chess lessons to online so we can give it to kids digitally. So this is all great.
Yeah, it has been amazing, because I think that your goal was $30,000. So you actually beat it already. That's incredible. Congratulations to everyone involved with that. I'm really excited to hear.
Now, Jen, should we hop in on some games?
Yeah, please do. Let's do that. Let's do that.
All right.
How about Anna? Because I think she just played
Let's
and they
go
bumped
find-
up the goal. So we beat our original goal and now we've got a new goal. That sounds a lot like chess.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
You always got to have a new goal. And I see Marcus nodding. Maybe he's got a great position or maybe he disagrees with my point.
No, that makes tons of sense. I'm trying to. Oh, here's go. Oh, Anna's about to start. She has not started.
Oh, Anna's about to start. Okay, well, good luck,
Okay.
Anna. Good luck, Anna. And thank you for joining us on the show for a couple of minutes, too.
Yeah. So maybe we can pop in on, let's see, scrolling down. Damian Josephs. Let's hop in on Damian Joseph. He's a Chess in the Schools alum. And maybe Jennifer, tell us what's happening here in the game.
Damian Josephs is a Chess in the Schools alum. Well, it's just the opening, and I like the way Damian's playing. You know, I think when you're playing these types of simul situations, you really want to be aggressive because the more moves it lasts, the more likely you are to get squashed. So I like his aggressive his kind of aggressive play here, playing bishop g4 and pinning the knight on e2. That stops the move d4, which would certainly be desirable because you can't move the knight on e2, right? So I think that this is a smart way for Black to play. And let's see what other games we have going. We have Katrina Wong also playing against Andrew.
Okay, I'm gonna.
That looks like a similar opening. It seems like maybe Andrew is playing a lot of similar games right now. Yeah, so she also just played bishop to g4, pinning the knight on f3.
Yeah, I think f4 is.
Yeah, this one I'm not so sure about because after pawn e5, you know, there's a difference between an absolute pin and a relative pin quad. Do you remember learning that from any Chess in the Schools instructors back in the day?
You know what? I probably missed that lesson. Why don't you just reiterate it for us, so for the people who are listening in?
I'm sure you know what it means. You just don't know the words that they use to teach it these days. But an absolute pin means you literally cannot move the knight. Like it's against the rules of chess. A relative pin means you usually don't want to. You don't want to move the knight on f3 because the queen's going to hang. But if you really need to, you can. Like if you need to recapture a queen or give a check. So the problem with the knight on c6 is it can't take on e5. And so now this is already a really nice position for Andrew because if we play bishop takes e5, queen e5, knight e5, bishop d1, and the math is bad for Black.
It's very bad.
When you count up all the pieces at the end, it's not good for Black. Okay, so maybe we'll move on to Andy Lerner and see what he's doing in his game. So this looks pretty balanced from my perspective. It seems like, well, you know, Black's got his pieces developed, you know, seems like a standard position. What do you think, Jennifer? Yeah, Andy Lerner, that name sounds familiar. A supporter of Chess in the School, but also potentially a strong player. Am I remembering that correctly?
Sounds looks like he's playing like he's a strong player.
It sounds like a familiar name, and I feel like he might be like a expert or something, but we'll find out. Bishop f6 played. So now the move knight e4 could come in, but yeah, I mean, knight e4 was played by Andrew Tang.
Yeah.
But he'll want to keep that bishop, so he'll play bishop to e7. And then,
threatening rook a8 behind that.
Yeah, it looks like Black's doing fine though. I think Black's definitely played well so far this game. So we'll see how Andrew, who I'm sure wants to win all the games,
now, if I can take a step back from the games for a moment, Jennifer, if we had to ask you what was your favorite Chess in the Schools or your most memorable Chess in the Schools experience, what would you say that was?
Wow. You know, I remember, you know, both offices, honestly. And I remember like when I started off at NYU, I taught at a school in Harlem, and it was like my first real job, teaching these kids. And it was very formative for me, not just for the kids, right? I was like only 17 when I started college, and I believe I started working for Chess in the School soon thereafter. And it was like part of my routine to take the A train all the way up to, I guess it was 145th Street. And I learned to become a teacher. And since then, I don't teach that much these days, but it's always been a big part of who I am. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I definitely remember vividly. Also teaching the high school program was an incredible joy. That I thought that was just like a brilliant thing that Chess in the Schools was ahead of the curve on using the high school, the transition from middle school to high school to keep people in chess via learning about other things like how to apply to college. And, that was certainly your experience, Quad, right?
Yeah, so I actually was a little bit different. I popped in and out of the college bound program. I actually went to boarding school in high school, but when I came back on my breaks, it was nice to know that I had all my friends and buddies from playing chess in one area still playing chess. And so even though I wasn't there the entire time, I was able to still slot in and compete. I did get some exposure to colleges from the college bound program. But a lot of my friends, some who are playing today, like Damian Josephs, were former college bound chess players. And I think if I had to talk about my favorite Chess in the Schools moment, it was when, me and my friends won the National Middle School Chess Championship in 1998 in Phoenix, Arizona. We were underdogs and no one expected us to win except for us. And we played the tournament of our lives and it was awesome. We showed to the world that what could happen when you give kids from the inner city resources. We will do our thing and we will outperform the expectations. And it was great to be a part of that story that kind of showed the world that, there's a place for chess, not only outside of school, but also in school. And that's a cheesy plug for Chess in the Schools, which I didn't plan on saying, but it worked out pretty well.
No, but it was great. It was very moving. Yeah, that's that. So you said it was 19, what year did you say it was?
1998. So what, 22 years ago? Wow.
Wow. That's funny. That 1998, and what city was it in?
It was in Phoenix, Arizona.
Wow. So that's the other thing. Like you got to travel the country and even the world by playing chess. And wasn't that just the best to like go to like a hotel with your friends and like play chess all weekend? It was like a dream come true. Yeah.
It's a dream come true, for kids like us, kids don't get those opportunities to travel and see the country, right? And so not only is chess really developing the minds of these students, but it's also broadening their horizons beyond their New York City neighborhoods, right? Like it's great to bloom where you plant, but you could also, live some other places and see what other people live like. And then on top of that, you build a great network of friends beyond your neighborhood in that regard. And it's great that you pointed that out in terms of traveling internationally, Jen, because we were also able to compete in the World Youth Games after we won the National Chess Championship in Moscow, Russia. So that was a great opportunity. We played Anatoly Karpov's School of Chess. We actually, beat that school and, proved to ourselves that, not only did we have what it took in the United States, but we also had what it took in also Eastern Europe.
Wow, that is incredible. I always remember my first international chess trip as well, to Brazil and then to Iceland. And I was forever hooked after this. But Quad, you are actually playing against Grandmaster Sam Shankland right now, who has accumulated a formidable center. So, hey, I'm not giving you any hints because I know you got this.
You're
going to take him down. No problem.
We setting it up. We about to bust that open. But I'm just, trying to develop my pieces, get in the game. He can have the center right now. I'm gonna let him finish, but later on, I'm actually gonna gonna come in there.
Well, yeah, Sam, Sam's a good player though. You better be a little bit careful.
Yeah.
Just don't underestimate him. Don't underestimate him.
Listen, Jennifer, rating ain't nothing but a number.
I love it.
Okay.
Love it.
So,
And
yeah, actually, I'm not liking my position anymore.
hey, you liked it like 2 seconds ago. All right, let's check in on Anna Ginsberg.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm clicking on Anna Ginsberg's game now.
Great.
Let's see how she's doing. She just played. Sam rather just played rook takes c3, and it looks like we had an even position, but Anna's pawns are going to come under some heat. Whichever way she takes back on c5, there's going to be heat on her pawns. I think she should take back with the pawn though here. I'm just worried if she takes back with the knight, it's just going to be such a miserable life with that isolated d pawn. And she did take her back with the pawn. And maybe this isn't good either, but it seems much more fighting.
I actually moved the wrong pawn. I should have played e5, but
oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, thank you everybody for the donations that are coming in. From Mike Pieces, who is a Chess in the Schools board member. Very cool. Good to see it. Ralph Prashad, thank you for donating. And let's see if there's, okay, Henry Arias is not moving yet, but we'll expect to hear from him soon. And of course, we have John Bartholomew. His games are underway too. Oh, Sunil Matabik. I remember that name. I used to teach him. And then there's Stedroy, who is actually from my neck of the woods in Philadelphia. So let's see how he's doing. It looks like he's playing my favorite opening. So he's playing the Dragon. Love to see it. Love to see it. I can't imagine John Bartholomew has anything good against this. Go get him, Stedroy. But I have a very special guest I want to introduce. As Grandmaster Pascal Charbonneau has been a longtime friend of mine, and it's so exciting to work with him on this event. He is the Chess 24 North American head, and we're really lucky to have you involved in this, Pascal. How are you?
Hi, Jen. I'm doing well. It's fun to get you on Chess 24. I don't know if have you been here before. I'm not sure. So, but I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited to be a part of this event and that we were able to help out on Chess 24. Doing things like this virtually is sort of our bread and butter for chess events, and it's nice to be able to do it for Chess in the Schools.
Yeah, why is it important for Chess 24 to support an event like this?
Well, it's such difficult times this period, and we are a company that actually benefits from this situation, and so it feels especially important for us to kind of give back and find ways to get involved and help other institutions that are struggling and so it's for us it's great also to get our name out there in the US a little bit more, and we're happy to be doing this.
Well, the thing about kids is that their brains are so sponge-like, so they can learn chess really quickly, even more easily than adult learners. So tell us about a kid who wants to learn more using your Chess 24 platform. You guys are also with Chessable, right? Yeah,
so we're actually a group of companies. The Play Magnus group includes Chessable, Chess 24, and Play Magnus. And so for kids, Play Magnus has great apps on the iPhone or Android that are great for like the beginner levels. And then Chessable and Chess 24 both have amazing tools for the sort of up and coming tournament players. I actually, I think we discussed this a little bit already, but Chessable is such an amazing tool to learn things like openings, but also tactics. They have so much great content, and I think your brother himself has spoken very highly of it as a way for him to learn openings as someone who's already an incredibly strong player. So we kind of have the whole span of tools here within the company. It's pretty exciting times for us. The Play Magnus group just went public last week. I think it's the first chess company, at least that I know, that has gone public. So yeah, it's exciting times for chess. It's exciting time for us.
Did you say it went public?
I did. I said it. You know, if you want to buy some stock, you know, go ahead. This is not this. I should state that this is not financial advice, but it does trade. It does trade in Norway, so you can find it on the an exchange that's called the Merkur exchange, which is a sort of a up and coming, like emerging tech companies exchange.
Very cool.
And that was a good joke because Pascal is in his former career was a financial in the finance world, and he's still a little bit involved in that as you kind of keep both of those hats in the ring. And by the way, you mentioned Play Magnus. My 3-year-old son loves that app. He cries when the battery runs out. Magnus Kingdom. Actually, Magnus Kingdom is the one that he likes.
Oh yeah, which we're partly involved with that one also. So we're in a few different things. And yes, I do my financial past. You know, when I heard Anna Ginsberg speak earlier, it reminds me a little bit of my own story as well. Of course, as someone who was in chess my entire childhood. I got acquainted with Chess24 actually when I started hanging out in Brooklyn way back, and sometimes I think we went to the same schools together. Jen, that's probably that's almost 20 years ago now. And but yeah, then I started working in finance, and chess was obviously something that I think was hugely beneficial in many different ways in my own career. Now I'm back doing stuff in the chess world, but I spent a lot of time away from it, and yeah, so I always like to do the things that kind of span over different worlds, whether it's I know you're interested in the poker and chess intersection, and for me it's more maybe the poker and trading and so on. Chess and trading.
Well, Pascal, tell us a little bit about whose position you like the most here as Black, because obviously all the Black players are under pressure. They're playing against these legends, John Bartholomew, Sam Shankland, Andrew Tang. Who do you put your money on for the most likely to either get a draw, a win, or just a really good fight?
So there's actually a couple. There's a couple of decent ones. I mean, especially like against Sam, some players are playing really well. I think Richard Wagner is playing quite well.
Board member.
All of the Richards, actually. Richard Hallenbeck also has a he's down a pawn, but the position has been actually he's kind of in trouble. I should look. I'm trying to look really quickly at all the games. Then John Bartholomew did win one extremely fast against Dave Stein, who I believe is a board member.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, I mean. Stedroy is actually playing well so far. He's got your favorite dragon, and I think it's worked out quite reasonably.
But what about this bishop f6? I'm a little concerned about that move, Pascal. I guess he's going to have to take with the d pawn.
Yeah, I guess he's gonna get the doubled pawns. I'm not sure it's the end of the world though. I'm not sure. Yeah. I think EF is okay. Then there was
bishop f6 because then there's knight e5, and we lose our beautiful dragon bishop, right?
Yeah.
So if we're gonna acquiesce to that, horrible damage to our pawn structure, we're gonna do it and keep the bishop on g7.
Yes. Now, one that's really interesting, and you should probably just show the opening of how this came about, but the game between Andrew Tang and Katrina Wong.
Oh yeah, I looked at that, but I did not look at the opening. Okay, sure. Okay, so let me just go all the way back in that game.
Because she might actually be doing quite okay. I don't know if that, in terms of material, she's doing fine. It's queen against rook and piece.
I thought this was going to be terrible, but my analysis must have been flawed. I thought I thought here bishop takes e5, queen e5, knight e5, bishop d1. I thought that was just going to be lost.
Yeah, I guess bishop e5 on bishop takes e5. Black would have had to try bishop takes f3. But I thought, and then I thought white would be
quad.
Yeah, but I think white would be okay there. I don't know if they're really better, but now, I mean, after this queen sacrifice, I'm not too sure that this is that great for white. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, Andrew was playing it very quickly, so I don't know if it's some kind of theory or whether he just got confused or something. Well, maybe we'll ask him at the end. But it doesn't seem clear to me here because the bishop on h8 kind of gives you a funny feeling.
Yeah,
H6
totally.
is interesting. Actually, H6, Queen H7 seems like a very nice plan. And I don't know.
Material is not looking good at all for Andrew Tang. He's going to be down. What, a queen for a rook?
Queen for a rook. He's got some pawns. And we're being told that she is in a college-bound program at Chess in the Schools. So,
and she was sponsored to play by a donor. By the way, thanks to all the donors. We got a new donation in from Jeffrey Otts. Big shout out. We'll be shouting out people throughout the night, including Youth Inc., a strong partner that made this challenge possible. Board members Chun Lin, Praju Doshi, Stephen Mayer, and Dhruv Sharma as well. Quad, how's the game going?
It went. I made a.
You're done? You're done? Yeah. What happened?
Yeah, well, I missed you guys so much that I decided to have my game end very quickly so I can join all the fun in hosting. So my sacrifice was actually my game because I had a greater mission in hosting. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, so you got checkmated on G7. I understand. It happened to all of us.
It was, it happens.
I want to take a look at one other game that we checked on very briefly, Quad, to Andy Lerner.
Yeah.
He was doing all right. And let's kind of check back in on him. He's just played, okay, so White's just played G takes H5, wiping Andrew Tang, and now Queen takes H5. Pascal, it looks like Black's up a pawn. Is this another one where Andrew Tang might be in trouble?
I mean, it certainly looks like Black is comfortable. Black is, like you said, up a pawn. I mean, I think White is going to get a little bit of play because the knight's going to be caught offside for a few moves. So, he's going to start attacking these pawns. But and actually, it's a little bit tricky. Like if Black plays Rook A8. White has a nice move, bishop to E4, attacks the rook. And if the rook tries to keep the pawn protected by going to A7, there's a Rook D8 checkmate. So it might be that Andrew is actually able to win his pawn back. So what Black might want to do is maybe play something like A5 followed by B4 and just try to get the, even at the cost of that extra pawn, try to liquidate to an endgame where it's just three on three on one side, and they should be able to hold that without too many problems. So yeah, good game by Andy Lerner so far.
Yeah, totally. Let's see how he solves this. Meanwhile, we have a very beautiful checkmate by John Bartholomew against David Dazinger. Does this one have a name, guys? It's a pretty one though. I like this checkmate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's one called like the epaulette or something, but it's not exactly like that.
Yeah, it's similar though. It's like a half epaulette because if your rook wasn't on A8, then King A8 would escape, right? The epaulette is usually when you're blocked in by your two rooks. It's like you're killed by your own shields.
Yeah, épaule means shoulders in French, so it's like the two shoulders on each side of your head, I guess. The king being the head, something like that. I try to remind everyone that I speak French.
Yeah, that we can't forget with a last name like that.
That's true.
And a first name as well.
Marcus Sutton says that it looks like Anastasia's mate, but in a different type of incarnation. And I believe he's going to be with us a little bit later to talk some more. But thank you, Pascal, so much for all that you did for the event. Quad, did you have any closing questions for Pascal?
No, I mean, I think this is awesome in that regard. And I guess maybe, the aspect, going back to your involvement with Chess24 just shows, the different avenues in which you can take chess from finance to tech, and even coming back to chess in that regard. Maybe talk about how you got connected with Chess24. I know you talked a little bit about your involvement and what Chess24 is, but how does chess I guess, allowed you to build a career, not as a player, but also, but in a different vein, in terms of playing chess?
Yeah, so I have to say that when I was applying to jobs coming out of college, coming out of and then my second job after that, there really was nothing that kind of got me in the door to have a conversation with somebody like chess, right? Like the fact that I had chess on the resume and the accomplishments I had as a junior and then a little bit later on, really got me to have conversations. But then beyond that, like once I was in the financial world, I think there's almost like there's this positive bias towards chess players, like that people who have played chess, people who have been successful in this game, have to somehow be smart. And whether it's true or not is kind of another question, but it doesn't really matter, right? Like the perception is actually what matters. And so, and I think I was able to use that to my advantage, and it was great. I got to have conversations with people who may not have talked to me if not for that. And it certainly helped me, kind of get ahead a little bit as a young professional in finance. Now, to the question of how I ended up at Chess24, it's a bit of a long story, but I'll try to keep it quick. So I worked in investment advisory for a long time. I was at a hedge fund, and there came a time where I thought it was maybe time to move on and start doing my own thing, my own advisory. But then I connected with an old friend of mine that probably many of you are familiar with, named Dimitri Schneider, who was my roommate in New York City at some point. Nice. And someone with actually a somewhat similar path in that he worked in finance. He was working at JP Morgan in the private bank for about a decade, I think. And he had been an investor in Chessable and then started working full-time. So left JP Morgan, where he was working in Asia, to work full-time with Chessable. And when Chessable and the Play Magnus group merged, he started talking to me. He knew that I was a little bit more available than I was in the past, and said that the company had, interest in kind of getting people that were both, in chess, but had outside experience. And that was me. And, it's been fun to work with him. He's obviously a very close friend and someone I've known forever. Now he's the CFO of the entire group. And so that's how I connected with Chess24.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing that anecdote. Once again, wanted to plug in for those who are just joining us. We still are accepting donations. The donation link is live, but if you wanted to text a contribution, you can text 44321 to donate. Really have a lot of momentum happening tonight. Everything's going crazy. It's looking like Andrew continues to march down, and John Bartholomew are holding their own pretty well, as we would expect.
Hey, Quad, I think it's time to introduce the executive director of Chess in the Schools, Debbie Eastburn. Hello, Debbie. How are you?
Hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm Debbie Eastburn. I'm the president of Chess in the Schools. I hope my internet connection doesn't freak out, but I'm so excited to be here. Chess in the Schools has a 34-year track record of teaching chess in New York City. And we are not the only game in town, but we are the only organization that is a nonprofit uniquely focused on providing free chess education in low-income communities to kids in schools that need it the most. And every day we see how chess is an amazing educational tool that teaches kids the intellectual and social skills they need to succeed in school and college and career. This year alone, we will teach 6,000 kids. You've heard from Quad, you've heard from Anna, you're going to hear from Marcus. And they are just a few of the amazing examples of people who have thrived through our program. I definitely need to give a shout out to Pascal, Charbonneau, and Chess24, their incredible team. We created this event together. This is our first time ever doing this, for everybody here to have fun, play chess, meet our organization, and raise some money for our high impact work. And you'll hear more about that throughout the evening. If you look at these trophies behind me, those are trophies from an amazing tournament that we had last year at about this time in the Bronx. And I'll tell you what I told those young players, and most of them were competing for the first time. And what I said was that everyone who plays chess is already a winner. And we really believe that at Chess in the Schools.
Why do you believe that, Debbie?
I believe it because I've seen it and I know it. I mean, I have seen how very young children can you just watch them thinking. You could it's almost like you could see the brain waves going as they're focusing and concentrating on something in a way that they can't do in other ways, another activities. You walk into a classroom, you see our inspirational instructors working with these kids. You see the kids really getting the game. I believe that learning chess is similar to a language, that the younger you learn it, the better it sticks. I don't know, that's my own personal theory about that. And so we try to teach kids in elementary school, and then we provide support all along the way. And these kids just learn to concentrate, focus, think ahead. And they learn to be patient. They learn sportsmanship. And when I think about where we are in the world at this time, and I think about what we want young people in the future to be, I think we want young people who think critically, who ask the right questions, who weigh all of their options, who are not impulsive, who choose wisely, who are resilient, and behave with honor. So just imagine a world like that.
That was
Love
beautiful.
It's really well stated. And, right now, also, it's difficult, stressful times for a lot of people. I feel like chess can also provide a great solace, distraction, way to, really absorb yourself in something where you can forget about, just the immediate things that might be going on in your life. And I've always thought that was one of the most beautiful things about chess, that flow experience that is actually really critical for success in life. We're modeling it for kids at a young age.
Absolutely. I mean, these days when we're playing chess online, we're playing chess a little bit more quickly than we did in real life land. And so I hope that someday we will return to slower chess. It's a different, you all know it's a different skill set, and I think that people need both. And then when you talked about how important it is at this time, I have a quote for you. We have a school principal up in the Bronx who called us and said, "How soon can you start?" He said, "The children, they need some fun now." And I don't have to tell you that chess is fun because everybody here already gets it. You've already drunk that Kool-Aid. But kids, when they're learning chess in our program, they think they're having fun because they're playing a game. But what they don't realize is what they're really learning is how to think. And if you told them, we're going to teach you how to think, they might think that's boring. But they're playing a game and they're learning how to think at the same time.
Couldn't agree more. That's a great story. Yeah, that is true. People need joy in their lives, and chess can certainly provide it. Now, somebody who's feeling a lot of joy right now, Quad and Debbie, is Katrina Wong, because her position still looks great. Look at this. She just took the pawn on b4, and if rook takes b4, wait, it's a check. But the queen is attacking the pawn on a1, the rook on a1, and the pawn on a5 is under fire. Oof. I mean, is this just dead for Andrew? How does he survive this? He's got 3 pawns for he's got 3 pawns and a rook for a queen, but the pawns aren't really moving forward.
They're not, no, not at all. Yeah, it's looking quite daunting for Mr. Tang. But he also does have a time advantage as well. So be interesting to see how they manage the time and the clock in that regard.
Well, what can he do now to avoid immediate disaster? Maybe like work on b to a4 or something like that. then we at least don't lose material right away. But I think like knight coming to c6. So he's chosen to play rook b1 instead, looking to get some checks in. I don't know if that's going to be enough, guys.
Yeah.
But I think Debbie is still with us. Did you have any other questions for Quad? One thing I wanted to know is if people donate today, I mean, what will their money go to? Like, so what is the money raised today? Like, what's the main thing that it's going towards?
So what I want everybody to know is that 100% of the proceeds of any donation to this event goes straight to Chess in the Schools. So that's amazing. We have 4 main programs: our school program, our tournament program, where we run free tournaments. We teach teachers to create a chess program, and we have an amazing college-bound program for high school students. And so, you know, we are broad and deep in the programming that we offer for low-income New York City kids. And so those are the things that your donation will support.
Amazing. And again, how do they get that donation in, Quad?
It is 44321. Or you could actually go to if you want to learn more about chess in the schools, you can go to www.chessintheschools.org. We do have a donation link there as well as tons of information about how to get involved in chess in schools. If you feel like you have services that can be of service to chess in the schools, we do have an advisory board program for people who like to lend their skill sets for the betterment of chess in the schools.
Oh yeah, that's the one that I'm in.
That's right. And you could be in great company with Jen Shahade, who is a luminary in chess and in poker in that regard.
Thank you, God. And a couple more shout outs to Bob Hong and the Ramirez and company, to Jillian Sanchez and Shiraz Khan. I remember them. They were part of the College Bound program as well. Christina Vestovich, James Brucia. These are all people who generously donated to Chess in the Schools tonight. Henry Arias, Stephen Montefori. Really big shout out to everyone. And, you know, any amount that you give is appreciated.
Absolutely. We can't do this without you in that regard. It is just very important that we have people and new people continue to come into the Chess in the Schools organization and family. And this has already been a successful event, and maybe wondering if we can get a new tally in terms of how much money we've raised so far.
Yeah, new tally on that. And let's also get a tally on what's going on in the games.
Yeah,
it looks like
more importantly,
Sam's down to his last opponent. And let's check in on that, as Richard Wagner, who I think you said was a board member, right?
Yeah, and a strong chess player.
Well, he just played queen e4. So Sam's technically up a piece for a pawn at this moment. But the knight on e5 is in take, and the queen on b1, and the queen is looking at that rook on b1. But something tells me that Sam's going to solve all his problems, as he's just played knight to f7 check.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is that after knight f7 check, rook f7, if a potential rook f7, there would have been queen d8 check, rook f8, queen f8. So checkmate. Richard felt compelled to play king g8, and now Sam played knight g5. And wow, I think Sam's going to be the first one to wrap up his simul. Well done, Sam. And, you know, thank you, of course, for spending time with us today. Andrew,
have there been any losses yet?
No, but, you know, Andrew's in trouble in that game. And then he's also got this game against Andy Lerner. So Andrew versus Andy. And this one looks worse for Black because that pawn on a5 is really strong. But I don't know if that's going to be enough. I feel like Black might be able to draw this one. We'll have to keep our eye on this one because we can use, I don't know.
If Black continues to push, then the bishop has to make a decision, I guess.
But the thing is, the white king's just going to try to march in. And then it's going to be a question of whether or not we can like trade off all the pawns and like sack our knight for the A pawn. I think this one might go Andrew Tang's way, especially now that he can completely focus on it because he's only got this in the other game.
Got it.
But we'll see. We'll see about that.
And that's right. That's really like, the fun thing about a simul. It's like, as you point out, the longer that the simul persists and the longer you last, the more GM focus you have too. So it's kind of like a diminishing advantage as a player competing against the person giving the simul time.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. You really have those better chances earlier in it. And we've got 3 games still underway from Super IM John Bartholomew. He's currently playing Sunil Madhavi, who is a name that I recognize from back in the day as well.
Yeah.
And this one, Sunil's down 2 pawns. So is that right? No, only one. Only one. Sorry, Sunil. It looks like more than that because Black's pawns are a little weak on top of that. So I think John will have some good technique here. Let's check in on Steadroy.
Yeah.
Well, material count is even.
Even.
But that.
What's going on with that knight on e6?
I don't know. I think this looks okay because actually it's knight g7, king g7. The bishop on g2 is really strong, but I'm also kind of happy that I've kind of clarified the situation a little bit. Yeah, Steadroy seems like he's playing pretty well. This could be the biggest hope outside Katerina.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. And then here's John Bartholomew's game against Guinevere Cheng.
I think that's Genevieve.
Genevieve. That's a beautiful name, actually.
It is a beautiful name.
Especially the beginning of it. Yeah. Just kidding, because it's the same as
got it. It took me a while. Yeah, it seems like this is pretty thrilling. There's some activity there. There's, John Bartholomew is attacking the queen. There's a pin on c6. Ugh, actually, it's looking kind of tough for Genevieve.
Yeah, this is difficult for Genevieve. Who's Marcus playing?
Let's find out.
Because I think we're going to have him on the air later, right?
Let me see.
We've got Andrew Tang versus Andy Lerner. Oh, he's not in the simul.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So, by the way, Sam has already won all of his games. So let's get him on the air real quick to talk about that. Hey, Sam, how are you?
Good. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, unfortunately, one guy didn't show up, but other than that, I managed to get through in one piece.
Very nice. Well,
yeah. Just to start off, Quad, you're from New York?
I am from New York, yes.
Do you have a brother named Daniel? I know a Daniel at Chiampong from New York who was the captain of my soccer team in college.
Well, unfortunately, I do not have a brother. And in Ghana, a champong is the equivalent of Smith in America.
Oh, okay. So it's just a very common name. I just had no clue.
Yeah.
I just thought another one also from New York who I was playing soccer with. I just thought I should ask.
No, that's awesome. Maybe, Sam, tell us about your background and how you came into chess and kind of your chess experience.
Yeah, so I've just always been a crazy competitive person. That's who I am in my nature. It makes me rather an unpleasant person sometimes, particularly if things don't go my way. But I was always a good athlete in school, but never a great one. I was, if there'd be 60 boys in the class, I would be, number 5 in any given sport, which is good, but you're not making any MLB drafts. And and I found chess and was very quickly very good at it. And I think humans are just sort of predisposed to like things they're good at. And, that's how it went.
And Sam, we've got this position up right now with Katrina Wong against Andrew Tang. So can you use your competitive instincts to tell us if Andrew can survive this? Because
I think if Katrina had what's Katrina's rating?
I actually don't know, but she seems like she's playing pretty well. She's part of the College Bound program.
I think if she had a bit more time, her winning chances would be close to 100%. But here it's going to be very tough with so little time. Like, it will take some accurate moves to weave her king out of this mess. Like their knight b6 check. Like, you're going to have to calculate reasonably well in the coming moves to make sure nothing falls off. Like here after king a6, knight b4 already, like threats, knight c7, or even knight d7. Okay,
knight b8 threat now, yeah. That's a big threat.
Yeah, like this is the kind of thing that can go wrong in a position like this. So
And she's 1900. She's 1900, says Sean Smith, and Marcus
Okay.
also.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, where she was when she won the queen first, but it seems like this was. If Black was just up a queen before, it certainly is taking a turn for the worse. But I don't know. In fact, is she just dead here? What does Black even play? I don't even see a move.
You mean because if we play like knight b7, you have knight b8 anyway.
Yeah, and then you lose all your stuff, and eventually White does have extra pawns. You can try rook c8, or
She's played king a7. Okay, but
yeah, it's similar. Just sort of walking into a discovery and saying, "Come at me, what you got?" But knight e5 is at least going to take the rook.
Knight e5, right? Knight e5.
Okay, well, first of all, if Andrew wants it, he has knight c5, rook f8, rook f7, draw immediately. If he wants that, but he may decide to be a bit more ambitious at this point, especially given the time advantage. And if this is his last game going, I don't know.
He's got one other, I think, but it looked that one against Andy Lerner, I think, and that one looked like it was winning earlier, or better. Yeah, we thought it was better.
At this point, Andrew certainly has a draw in the pocket if he wants it.
And this one is the other one, Sam. And by the way, shout out to Angel Lopez, another great name for the past.
Coach Angel, he donated.
Yes, he donated.
Good on you, Angel.
I love to hear from Angel, and he is actually one of Marcus Sutton's first coaches. So, extra shout out to Angel.
Yeah, no. So this one here with Andy and Andrew, it's either completely winning for White or it's a dead draw. It's nothing in between. It's just the question is, does White get to the a pawn in time to win, or is he just not going to make it? I think this should be holdable for Black.
All right,
it certainly looks like it should be a draw to me.
So Andy might get the only draw, depending on how this one goes. Is knight b8.
Okay, but Andrew has decided to keep the game going. I mean, this is not a risk-free decision. He declined a draw, but he could very well lose this. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
knight c6, knight c6, queen and knight are known to be pretty good together.
Yeah, it's difficult to get those pawns going. I mean, materially, it's a bizarre material imbalance.
Yeah, in fact, I actually think White's just lost here. After knight c6, the rook on f7 is completely stuck, because if it leaves the 7th rank, Black's king will escape off of a8, and if it leaves the f file, then queen f3 is really going to hurt. And you cannot really move the pawns without some kind of accident happening. You can't really give any checks. I think that, unless I'm missing something, I believe Black is more or less winning right now.
But a real fascinating imbalance. I don't think I've seen this one too many times. 3 pawns and 2 rooks.
Found a good move, but yeah.
Rook f4 played. Yeah, this one we'll have to keep our eye on. A shout out to Mark Mayer, who looks like he's lost his game, but it seems like that one was a tough fight, and he played against Andrew Tang as well. So Andrew's still with 2 games going on, and John is still fighting in those 2 games against Sunil and Stedroy. The one against Stedroy seemed particularly combative. As Claude, he did not take the bishop on g7 in the end. He played knight c5 to extricate his knight instead of taking on g7.
Okay, but queen b3 check, queen takes b7 or something. Black looks completely cooked to me.
Yeah, and he did just play queen b3.
Yeah, after like king h8, queen b7, dc5, queen c6, like White has a clean pawn up, and his bishop is much better than Black's, and Black's pawns are all, like, if Black had, his pawn back on f7 and then didn't have split queenside pawns, he might have some saving chances, but it just looks basically done, I think, after queen b7 next.
Yeah, nice move. Queen b3, nice little in-between move that you can take on b7, because taking on c5 doesn't really help. There's so many things hanging in Black's position, that knight on c6, for instance.
Yeah, guys, I have to get going, but I just want to say thanks for inviting me to play. It was a pleasure to play with you guys and raise money for a good cause. Thanks to Quad and Anna and everyone else for the games. It's been fun. Wish you guys a good rest of your show.
Thank you, Sam.
Have a good day.
Good job, Sam, being the first simul sweeper. Grandmaster Sam Shankland, former U.S. champion, author. You can certainly check out his books if you want to give a thank you to Sam. And you can find him in all the usual social media networks, Twitter, Instagram. Hey, we've got a very special guest to bring in, Quad.
Yeah.
We got to get Marcus Sutton on.
Bring him in. So Marcus is one of our Chess in the Schools stars. He is in the College Bound program. Marcus, talk to us about how you got started in chess and your connection to chess in the schools.
Yeah, totally. I'll get on that. I first started playing chess, believe it or not, thanks to Chess in the Schools. It was introduced into my elementary school. And believe it or not, I actually did not care for it at all. I saw the game. I was like, oh, chess, it's just a game. So I treated it as if it were a free period because I didn't understand the real value of the game. But my coach at the time, the first coach my school had was former CIS coach Stephanie Ballone, which I'm still in contact with today. She realized that I had potential that I wasn't really taking advantage of since I didn't actively care about the game. And my school ended up hosting one of the CIS tournaments. So she would pull me out to the side during classes. She'd give me advanced lessons, and I still wasn't in the mindset that I was actually excelling in something unintentionally. But I eventually ended up going to my first tournament at my school, and I scored, I believe, 2.5 points. I remember it was one of the weirdest tournaments ever. I got checkmated, scholars mate. It was very funny. I didn't believe it. I was just looking at my board like, did I just lose that fast? How? And it was right after lunch too. So I was feeling like, oh, I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play. I sit down and I get checkmated so quick, and I'm just like, what is this? So from there, I began to become more interested in the game and wanted to learn more about the game. So I ended up going to IS 318 for middle school, which is a very, very popular chess school, which I hadn't even known. I was only going there because my sister went there. And I ended up on the chess team, and all these players, they were like, oh, I'm rated 1,500, I'm rated 1,300. I'm just like, what are these numbers? I don't know what any of this means. I was unrated. I had played in a total of 2 tournaments so far, and I just liked the idea of being able to play chess. I didn't know much, but I felt that if I put in the work, I could become just like them. I could understand what those ratings meant. I could be like a really active member on the chess team. So I did put in that work. I got the help from coaches, and eventually it wound me back up with Chess in the Schools at their College Bound program. And I love chess so much. It means everything to me now, when it started off meaning next to nothing, surprisingly. So yeah, I think there was another question I might have missed. What was it?
No. I thought that was an excellent recount, and I'm sure that there are tons of Chess in the School students that share in that story in terms of playing in competitive tournaments, seeing improvement, putting the work in, and just having the opportunity to focus and say, listen, I can actually see the results of the effort that I put in. And, different from competitive, from athletic sports like a basketball or football, there's really no, physical advantages that you're born with that can stop you from being a really good chess player. It's really about putting in the work and that work ethic, which could also span to different aspects of your life in that regard. Now, Marcus, how do you think chess has helped you in other aspects of your life?
Great question. I think chess has honestly connected me to so many things that I couldn't imagine myself doing before getting connected to chess. For example, 2 summers ago, I did a summer intensive with this program called All-Star Code, which Chess in the Schools actually connected me to. And before the program, I wasn't very involved with computer science. I didn't know much, and it didn't interest me as much. But there alumni of Chess in the Schools who told me like, hey, this is a wonderful opportunity and you can take it. So it can't hurt to just apply. And I wound up applying. I got in. I went to the program. I had a fantastic time, reinvigorated my love for coding, which I have gone on to do other programs with Google, for example. And like that's just one example of the many things chess has really connected me to. A lot of people see chess like how I saw it initially as just a game. You're just moving pieces around, you win, you lose, like that. However, me, it's way more than a game. And to many other chess players, they realize that it's way more than just a game, that it's like a beacon that connects you to so many things that you might not even be expecting it to connect you to. So yeah, that's what chess has done for me.
And where's the coolest place you've traveled to play chess?
It's gotta be Nashville, the Gaylord Opryland Hotel. It's this gigantic hotel. It's got like themed parts. I can't even remember. The one thing, the best thing I remember about the Gaylord Opryland was my friends, whenever we wanted lunch or dinner and we weren't like buying together as a team, we'd always like run all the way to the Stacks. I'm not sure if you guys know it, but it was just like sort of burger joint. And it was so, I don't know, it was fun for us. It was like a really memorable thing because it was just kind of like a hallmark of going to Tennessee. Like every time we went there, it was always Stacks, Stacks, Stacks. So, and like, it's just crazy how like massive the hotel was. And it's like, it's got a dome over it. Insane.
Nice. Awesome. Well, Marcus, we really appreciate you joining us today for a great cause. Once again, if you're just joining us, we do have a text to give number, which is 44321. Maybe we should actually go to see how these games actually ended in Jen. Like I know we were looking at Katrina. It looks like it went down to the wire, but Andrew Tang was ultimately able to prevail.
He did. He was able to prevail against Foker and Andy Lerner as well. So Andrew Tang's actually wrapped up his simul as well, although he did have a few more struggles. But maybe we'll get him actually to unmute himself and chat. But I did want to thank Marcus. You were so great in describing all the things that chess has brought you. And also your shirt is amazing. I love the colors, like orange and like yellow polka dots or something. It's amazing.
No, it's actually it's red and white stars.
Oh,
see it. But yeah, you're welcome. Chess in the Schools is absolutely amazing. Has been one of the greatest things that has been in my life, and I'm so grateful for it.
yes. And we are still hopeful to raise a few more donations so we continue to support people like Marcus. We're close to the 40K mark, hoping we can eclipse that this evening. So if you haven't had a chance to give to Chess in the Schools or you believe in the mission, please feel free to text to contribute at 44321. I don't know if is Andrew done with all his games?
Yeah, he just won these 2 games that were really tough. I would love to hear his thoughts on that game against Katrina, as it looked like he was really hanging in there for a while, but in the end, he got her. Sedroy and Sunil are both still hanging in there, by the way, against John Bartholomew, although they both seem to be in trouble, I have to say. A pawn down is Sunil, and Sedroy has got this like funny material imbalance, but at the end of the day, he's down a pawn too.
Yeah, and you know, I should point out that those are my former teammates from that National Middle School Chess Championship team in 1998. So not surprised that, you know, they are giving John a run for his money. So I'm really excited to see that. But maybe if we can pause and really get in touch with Andrew and talk to him about his experience and what he thought about the level of competition today.
I think he's still muted, but we'll see if he'll unmute.
Hi, yes.
Hey, Andrew, how are you?
I am good.
Today.
I definitely.
You won them all, though, in the end.
Yeah, but very lucky, I'd say, especially against Katrina.
Yeah, she played a really good game, right?
For sure.
So, Andrew, what attracted you to, playing this fundraiser? Big thank you, as we know you're super busy now, being that you just signed with Cloud9 a few weeks ago, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I don't have perhaps as personal of a connection to chess in the schools, but I think it's a great initiative, and I'm always happy to support good causes.
Fantastic.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah, and you've built yourself a career not only by becoming a grandmaster, but also becoming like a streamer and a blitz and bullet legend. What's your advice for people to just like get really fast at Blitz Chess Online?
Yeah, I mean, there is both like the mouse where you can work on your aim and stuff, but in the end, I think you also you need to develop your chess skills. So when you're playing Blitz, you'll see things quicker. It's not just the mouse, but also anticipating your opponent's move, having your next moves ready. That's just as important.
Right. So you still put a lot of time into studying the game when you were a kid. Yeah.
For sure.
Got it. Well, congratulations on all your recent success. I think you're just another example of how you can succeed in chess, both on the board and also on the business side. So great
right.
stuff.
I think that's a really good point. There are a number of Chess in Schools alums who have gone on to build their own teaching practices. They've gone on to become coaches in success academies, in charter schools. They've gone on to build online presences for themselves. So it's not just about the game. It's not just about academics, but it's really being able to, carve the life that you want for yourself based on the joys and the things that bring you happy and the things that you're good at. I mean, I think Sam Shankland said it earlier. It's like humans have a proclivity to go towards the things that they're good at. And if you're great at chess, you could actually make a life for yourself too. So thanks for being a shining example of that, Andrew. Thank you.
Hey, Andrew, does Steadroy have any chance to save this against John Bartholomew?
I think he's getting mated actually in the next few moves. Rook h7 and h4 is coming.
Oh, that would be a no.
Yeah, it's mate in 3.
Well, let's see if it actually comes in 3 moves. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Oh, 4.
Oh, I missed queen f5. Mate in 5.
It's going to take a little longer, but hey, I think Steadroy's the last one standing, I believe.
Got it. And he almost didn't. He was not playing as of yesterday, so this is pretty thrilling, and it's great to welcome Steadroy back into the fold. Another Chess in the Schools alum, doing great things in that regard.
Big thank you to Andrew Tang, and I love the answer. Can he survive this? Well, he's getting mated in 3 moves. Good answer. But it looks like the Grandmasters and Super IM John Bartholomew have swept the players, but great learning experience and some really tough battles. A lot of these players really fought hard against these luminaries. Some other thank yous, by the way, to Talaferro, Cruzen, to Debbie.
Yeah, Tali.
Yeah, Tali. Michael Ostroff, Richard Hallenbeck, Douglas Condon, Christian Sbarro, Paul Salopica, Matthew Beckman, Laura Smith, Matthew Morales, a name I certainly remember, and Darian Robinson. Love to hear Darian's name. And we also have Henry Arias with us right now, I believe, to say hello.
Yeah.
A fellow alum. Hey, Henry.
You're muted, Henry.
He's still muted, yeah. Well, while we wait for Henry to come in.
Jennifer.
Hey,
Long
Henry,
time
how
no
are
see.
you?
I'm doing well. Good to see you.
Hailing all the way from Seattle, Washington.
West
Thank you for
Coast.
being with us.
Oh, happy to join. Sorry for the delay. It's got my schedule mixed up a bit, but I'm actually playing a game at the moment. So
wait, who are you playing?
I'm playing Pascal. He's already kind of crushing me, but
okay. Well, we'll let you play a little bit. I think we have a couple more shout outs, Jen, to give, right?
Well, I think John Bartholomew just finished his simul, so maybe he wants to say hi. Yeah. He had a couple interesting games as well. And John,
how are you? You want to unmute and come chat with us?
John Bartholomew is the Chessable guy, so maybe you can tell us a little bit about that.
Yes.
Johnny V says that, he hung a knight against Steadroy, but fortunately he didn't notice. I think I missed that moment.
Oh.
Let me look at that.
Yeah, let's bring that back.
So Steadroy, we noticed that Steadroy was giving him a tough fight, but let's see where this knight hang was. It must have been a long time ago.
Okay.
So this one was a dragon, a fianchetto line. And then bishop g5 was already a little bit problematic because of this fracturing of the pawn structure that I noted while I was on the air with Pascal and you were battling against Sam yourself. So wait, where did he hang a knight?
Oh, hey, I'm unmuted now.
Oh, hey, John, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me in this event.
Yeah, thanks for supporting it. And so you say you hung a knight against Steadroy. Where did that happen?
Yeah, it was after he played rook e to c8 on move 20, and then I responded with queen d5.
Okay, so.
Which allowed queen takes b7. I saw it right after I played it.
He played rook.
Oh, because he could pin the knight, right?
Oh, I'm glad you guys missed it.
B8.
Yeah, we weren't watching at the time. So you.
Oh, okay, got it.
Okay, because we were interviewing Sam Shankland at this point, and I think he mentioned taking with the queen on b7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he was saying queen takes b7 and then pawn takes c5, queen c6. But you're saying that like knight. Better. Yeah, knight b7, and then you played queen d5 to capture the pawn on b6.
Yeah, I was getting ambitious, but that could have backfired.
Yeah, queen takes knight.
Amazing that that this happened. Darn, we wanted to see one of them win. This was our moment. This was our moment here. So tell us, John. But it's one of those mutual blindness things, right? Like you don't expect a player as strong as you to make a mistake like that. So Steadroy doesn't even believe his eyes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Responding to the threats, and you don't even think to look for an offensive move.
Whereas if he was playing against a lower rated player, he would have seen it instantly.
Yeah, so interesting.
So funny how that happens. John, tell us a little bit about why you decided to support this event.
Yeah, and my video's up. I don't know if you guys are able to get me up on video, but
yeah, we see you now.
Okay, great. So actually, Chess in the Schools was the very first organization I worked for in chess. I started doing chess full-time in 2011. I moved from Denver, Colorado to New York City. And Sean Smith, I was fortunate to get in touch with him. Shout out to Sean. And he hired me to do College Bound, teach the College Bound program, which, Jen, I think I heard you said that you taught at one point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to do that for a year while I was in New York. And I loved it. And I loved the program. I recently, last year, pre-pandemic times, got to go out for the Chess in the Park event that they have every year. So kind of went full circle, and now I'm here doing this wonderful simul. So very much appreciative to be here.
Yeah, well, thank you for you and your team. Like we were talking a little bit about Chessable earlier because that's your thing, right?
Yep, I'm repping Chessable right here, and we're very happy to be partnered with Chess in the Schools. Their kids get to use our resources, and it's a site that I co-founded back in 2016. So yeah, we're a chess education platform using spaced repetition, and we have a lot of resources on there, especially free resources. So if you guys, anyone watching wants to check it out, feel free.
That's so cool. So Chess in the School students get access. What's like the best thing for people to start out with if, like, say they know how the pieces move, but they have a few strategies, but they're maybe like, something like 1,000. What's the best course for them to start on Chessable?
Yeah, I would check out some of our tactics courses. So I did the videos for a course called the Checkmate Patterns Manual, which was actually created by one of our users. And it's basically a compendium of all the checkmate patterns in chess, and it's really fun to drill. I would definitely err on the side of something more interactive like that. And because we use spaced repetition and scheduling on our site, it makes it a lot of fun to drill. And, if you get something wrong, our site will prompt you to find the answer, and then it will come up more often in your review when you log back into the site, so you can practice it further.
Really amazing. What a great idea that can apply to not just chess, but anything. So John, and it's funny that you mentioned checkmate patterns, because we were trying to figure out, me, Pascal, and Quad, we're all wondering if this one has a name. Because it's such a pretty one.
It's almost like an Arabian mate, except not quite, because it's not in the corner.
Yeah. And Pascal called it epaulette.
Epaulette mates.
Like a half epaulette, epaulette's usually
Right.
with like the rooks on both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, if there's a rook on c8, a black rook on c8, it would be a perfect epaulette.
Yeah, well, nice checkmate. Very nice. And yeah, good job sweeping your simul, as it looks like you guys won all your games.
Yeah, it was tough. I had a couple tough ones there. With the time control, I was worried having a couple of minutes left at the end that I wouldn't be able to switch back and forth between the two games, because I had about 2.5 minutes, and both positions were interesting against Stedroy, and also I think it was
Sunil?
Yeah, SM 10457.
Sunil Matabik. Yep.
Sunil Matabik. Okay, that's who I was playing.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very tough game as well.
But you were able to persevere and keep your winning record intact. And it's also great that your toughest games were actually from Chess in Schools alums.
Oh, great!
Illustrating the power of the program. Not all heroes always wear capes. In that regard, and you've got some good students there from Chess in the Schools. And then I also see the bottom right that with regards to the epaulettes made, that Pascal was just showing off his French. So
exactly. And did I see right on the that Chess in the Schools, since it was founded in 1986, has taught over 500,000 students chess?
That's exactly right.
That is insane. That's crazy to think about.
It really is, and I think prior to Chess in the Schools, there wasn't really a scholastic chess scene outside of the fancy private day schools in Manhattan. And I remember being a student in the early 90s, if you wanted to play chess and play in tournaments, you had to, go to the Brownings and the Trinities to play chess in that regard, and also Hunter College. But Chess in the Schools has really created a lot of strong players by creating their own tournaments and getting students really excited to play competitive chess more frequently. I remember starting out in the games in early 90s, we probably played maybe 10 chess tournaments a year. And now you can play that in 6 weeks. So really failing faster and really improving from that creates that iterative process, creating strong chess players like Anna Ginsberg, like Marcus Sutton, like Sunil and Stedroy in that regard, and then having them become stronger and stay in that ecosystem to teach, new students coming in is just really like a great cycle for students who sometimes don't really have much. To be able to compete and to be able to sharpen their minds with skills that will allow them to be successful not only on the board but off the board.
Yeah, absolutely. And if only every major city had an organization like Chess in the Schools. I just think of the potential that we would see in the game, not only in the US but abroad as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, that's amazing. You teaching at the College Bound program. Any memorable students or experiences from your time teaching there?
the thing I remember the most is that everyone was just really enthusiastic to be there. It was just really cool to go, come there after school and teach like a top group. So very talented kids who were eager to be there. And, I was just, as I said, starting my chess career, basically. I had some teaching chops, but it really personally helped me like cut my teeth on teaching a group, and especially like a really eager group. So the kids would always ask me to play blitz and stuff like that. I also remember playing Yuri Lapshun, who I think still works for Chess in the Schools.
He does.
So he would always be like tugging on my shirt, like, John, let's go play some blitz. And he'd play like B4 on move 1 against me, his crazy openings. Mm-hmm. So that was a fun memory too. And of course, hanging out with Sean, Ron Bucock as well. So all those Chess in the Schools employees are awesome.
Well, we really appreciate you coming out here and supporting us and giving the donors some really awesome games. I'm sure, some of the players are invigorated to get back into chess, and we hope they will stay with us and still continue to be involved with Chess in the Schools. So really appreciate you being here, John.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Thank you, Quad. Thank you, Jen. Thank you to Debbie Eastburn as well in the chat. I saw she was in there too. And Pascal as well for the logistics and setting this up.
Thank you.
Now, thanks, John. And of course, John is now, teaching to large crowds on YouTube and Twitch, and so it's nice to know that it all started at his first chess teaching job at Chess in the Schools. Love to hear it.
Absolutely.
Well, really quickly, wanted to also send a shout out to some of the folks that helped us promoting our event. We wanted to thank the folks at Chess at 3 for promoting our event in their newsletter. This has been very successful. We could not have done it without the folks at Chess at 3. So thank you so much in that regard.
Oh yeah, I know Chess at 3, Storytime Chess. Like I said, I have a 3-year-old, so they're great. Yeah, that's some good stuff. Start them young. Start them as young as you can. Make them think that chess is a toy. I actually, it's so funny because I went to an Airbnb and they had Storytime Chess, which is like the Chess at 3 game. Mm-hmm. And it's this like chessboard with like cutout pieces and stuff, and like coins and like little games and a storybook that you can like tell the kid while you're teaching them to move. And my son looked at it and he was like, that's Magnus's Kingdom. Like that's like the real version of Magnus's Kingdom. He was so excited to play to like eat the different pieces and the different coins. So I was very appreciative. I was like, yes, get him off the iPad.
That's true. I mean, I started playing chess at 6, right? I think Fabiano started playing chess at like 4 or 5, and look what he's been able to do.
No, I think it's great for kids to learn online. It's just like, I think it's good to have a combination, because otherwise, they might forget or not realize like what the rules are. So I think like it's good to, teach them using all these amazing apps that you have available from like, whether it's Play Magnus or Magnus's Kingdom. And then also make sure that you're actually playing them over the board, so that they've retained the information from the apps, right? And by the way, let's not forget Soteris, who's our producer. It's 2:30 a.m. where he is, and he really volunteered his time to do this. So huge shout out to Soteris, as he's also freed up Pascal to talk to us. And I think Pascal wants to come back to chat with us, actually.
Yeah, I want to give to talk to Henry really quickly, because are you still playing your game, Henry? Oh,
you got to unmute yourself.
No, I'm done. I just got destroyed.
So
you won.
How'd it go?
It was great, but not even close after I hung a piece. Slow, painful death.
Got it. So
the game.
Yeah, we didn't get to see the game. You want to bring his game up, or I don't know if we had it up there. So
no, we didn't have it in the queue. But Pascal, you jumped in here not only to promote the event, and you were doing a guest appearance, and then you also ended up playing against Henry. So you basically wore all the different possible hats at this event. Is that similar to what you do at Chess 24?
it's that does seem to be a tendency at my job so far, is that I end up doing a lot of different things, which I like. So it's good. I have a lot of different interests. But I did play a couple of people. I actually played. I had offered to do this. I had told Sean Smith that if some people lost a little bit quickly, I could sub in and play them some games. So I played Dave Stein, who I think lost kind of quickly, and David Denzinger. I might not be pronouncing these names right. And then I played Henry, who had showed up late. So yeah, these games were not on the stream because they were just like I just set them up on the side directly myself. So, but it was fun. I actually had some kind of tough fights. Henry was playing very well until like you said, he hung a piece. But yeah, I mean, and the GMs were close to losing a couple games. So it was good. It was good to see. Too bad we didn't get a scalp today, but it was a great event.
We were close. Stedroy and Katrina were the closest, I think. And Andy. Yeah. Andy's game also. So we had 3 really close ones. If only the GMs had a little less time on their clock, I think we would have dinged them.
Yeah, I think the time was the right time. Like I was going to make it a little bit slower if there were more players. But like this, it was pretty good because they were running short, like even Andrew, who's one of the fastest human beings on the planet, was running short of time at the end. So, if that happened, that means we were close to being right.
Pascal, any impressions you had from this event that you want to share?
Well, first of all, it's amazing. Like I was kind of, I was almost in shock when I heard how much money was raised. It's wonderful, and we're just we were just happy to be a part of it. Like John was saying, it aligns really well for us. Chessable has been doing things with chess in the schools, and so it's great, and I'm just I'm happy that so much money was raised, and I know it's going to go to good use. I actually had a few friends back in New York when I was in the finance world that used to tell me that I donate to chess in the schools, and it's great that they've had to reach to get to like random people who are not necessarily chess players at the onset, and get them interested in participating and supporting such a cause, and hopefully that night did a little bit to further that goal as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible how much money has raised. Quad, do you have a new total?
While we wait for the total, let's pivot to Henry really quickly to get his story. So Henry, tell us about your connection to chess and chess in the schools, and what you've done outside of playing as a chess in schools alum for chess in the schools.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Quad. I've been fortunate to know about chess in the schools for well over 15 years. I learned about the game through chess in the schools in 7th grade. So went through the program and eventually joined the high school program, where I was paired up with a mentor in the college bound. And I'd say that experience alone really helped set me up for success. Certainly, I view chess as a tool, and it allowed me to both play chess throughout high school and also be paired up with mentors, one of which I'm still in touch with, and helped me through the college bound process. More importantly, gave me some great advice about careers, and eventually I ended up working in finance right out of undergrad. And I'd say a lot of that discovery process was because and thanks to chess in the schools. So I think that's my story today. I'm still in finance. I live in Seattle, and sad to be so far away from the headquarters, but happy that we're able to convene virtually. And thank you for the invitation, Quad. I really appreciate it, and happy to support however I can.
Yeah, and Henry, also you actually were head of the junior board as well, correct?
Yeah, that's right, Quad. I certainly was active, extremely active in helping do fundraising for the program that meant, and in fact, it means so many positive ways. And These events are super important, and it's great to hear from people who are former students of the program, because I think that helps donors understand the ability of the program to make an impact, because they can see it firsthand. And I'd say, again, a lot of my career and where I am today is because of the guidance that I received through Chessable Schools, whether it's the mentoring program, whether it's just chess club when I was in school. And I think the alumni program that the advisory board that we created allow us to sort of continue to be an impactful member to Chessable Schools, even as we matured in our careers.
No, we appreciate all that you do for Chess in the Schools, not only just as an alum from the Bronx, which is where I'm from, but also a Dominican chess player as well, which is very popular in the Bronx, and just speaks to just the diversity. I mean, we've got Pascal, and I believe Pascal's from Canada, correct? We've got me from New York City, from Ghanaian descent. We've got Henry from Dominican Republic, Jen Sahade. Where's your heritage?
Well, I'm Jewish and Lebanese. The last name is Lebanese. Shahade. Yeah,
right. So I just thinks it underscores and speaks to just the diversity of the game of chess, right? You know, with so much going on in this world. It's just good that people just can come together and speak, chess, in the form of an international language where it doesn't matter where you come from. We're united by the love of our game, and we can put our differences aside and realize, you know what, we're all the same in our passion. That's something that I particularly latched onto as a kid growing up in the Bronx and going into national and international chess championships, and just being able to just, make a connection just out of love and out of, a passion for an intellectual game such as chess.
Well, hey, Quad, we're in for a treat as we got so much money raised that we hit the reward goal. And we are getting a visit from Grandmaster Maurice Ashley.
Whoa.
Maurice, good to see you again.
Hello.
Wow.
Well,
how's everybody doing?
Everybody is so excited. They're in shock. They're very surprised to see you here, Maurice. But, we just about, I think we're close to the 40K mark of fundraising tonight for Chess in the Schools. So tell us what you think about that, Maurice.
I think that's fabulous. How short are you? What's the number?
We were at like
39,862.
39,862, and the goal is 40,000.
Yep. So we just need $138.
All right, I'm throwing. I got 200. I got 200. Put it over the top. Just throw my 200 in there.
Amazing. Wow. Well, Jess, you coming here and saying hi. Tell us a little bit about your experience, because I know you've been a visitor at Chess in the Schools events in the past, Maurice.
Well, it's obviously a wonderful program. I've known Chess in the Schools for decades, and it's the gold standard. Chess in the Schools is the gold standard for chess programs, for getting kids not just involved in chess, but using this marvelous game of ours to develop their thinking skills so that they can be successful in school and go on to college and all those additional programs that they have that's really about the college bound and trying to make sure that kids are successful. We're not trying to make grandmasters out of everybody. Of course, if you get a grandmaster or two, that's okay. But what we're really looking for when you do chess is to give the kids the amazing skills that allow them to think critically and therefore be more successful in life. And Chess in the Schools has been doing that for so long. It's like part of the fabric of our chess family.
Absolutely, Maurice. And Marcus, I saw you gave a little fist bump when Maurice said, we're not only trying to make grandmasters, but that'd be okay. Marcus, you want to say hello? Have you gotten a chance to meet Maurice before? You got to unmute yourself.
I don't think I have gotten the chance to meet Maurice before, so it's so astonishing to meet such a legendary player. Like I've seen him on, I think SNL before or something like that. But
SNL. I don't think I've made SNL yet. Maybe you're thinking Trevor Noah.
or no, it was something late. I was probably supposed to be asleep, but it's so crazy to be in the same space as such a legendary player, and maybe I'll like him one day.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. It's unfortunate
I've got a
that we have
story.
to do it online, but still, it's nice to meet you.
So when I was in fourth grade, Maurice Ashley came to the Bronx. Well, first and foremost, thank you for everything you've done for chess, not only for chess in schools, but before New York. Maurice Ashley was the coach of the Raging Rooks, which was the first, African-American majority team to win a national championship. And actually, I believe they also were co-champions with Julia Masterman in that regard, which is where Jen Shahade actually played chess. But knowing his players, they pretty much were the gold standard, and they actually made us know that it's possible from kids from the most unlikely circumstances to actually achieve greatness. And if it wasn't for Maurice Ashley and his players breaking through that barrier, winning a championship would seem impossible. So I often refer to his team as kind of like the child Jackie Robinsons, of competitive chess in that regard, sacrificing summers, playing basketball, and just to look at a board for hours at a day, really created the playbook for chess excellence. So wanted to say thank you very much for that. Thank you for playing me in a simul similar to this, but actually in person at my elementary school when I was in fourth grade. You're the man, and you are royalty.
Well, I appreciate all those kind words. You bring back a lot of memories for me personally. Recently, of course, I'm sure you guys know Sharu Robinson, who was one of the students on the Raging Rooks. He passed away very young, but that accomplishment, those young men who did that work, they did it. I mean, we had such a great time. I remember the summers that we gave up, that they were willing to give up because we were chasing a national championship, and we would work really hard. They worked really hard, and we ended up tying for first in that championship and making a difference in people's lives. And that's what it's all about. And that's why it's so wonderful to have a program like the Chess in the Schools program that focuses on making a difference in people's lives, young people's lives. And they've touched so many people. I think it's a wonderful organization that has done such great work over the decades. The longevity is the proof of that dedication and that focus on excellence and that focus on making sure that young people are well served. So I know there's going to be a Sharu Robinson Memorial Tournament this weekend. Sharu will never be forgotten, gone but not forgotten. He was a wonderful young man, and I'm proud to say that I was his coach.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we appreciate those words. Thank you for being on our advisory board for Chess in the Schools. We appreciate that continued support. Definitely a treat for all the donors that came today that are still with us in this last hour of our program, of this inaugural program. We really appreciate all the support that you give to Chess in the Schools. And if you're interested, players, people who are here, if you go to www.chessintheschools.org, you can find information for the Sharu Robinson Memorial Chess Tournament. It starts at 10 a.m. and will last for an hour. So you can come in, get some really good games. There's some pretty strong players there, and it's free.
Can't beat free. Can't beat free. And Sharu used to say, talent. That was his favorite word, talent. He respected talent, but he respected when that talent did the work. And he had a very high ethic, very high standard for what greatness really is. He never liked to call himself good because he felt like that you can't just be tossing words like that around. You had to really prove yourself. And he knew people who were better than he was. And I think that's that standard for excellence that we all try to follow, or we all try to emulate. And Chess in the Schools has done that all these decades. about not just being good, but being excellent. And so I'm proud to be a part of the advisory board. I'm proud to be able to speak for this organization because it's easy. I like it when it's easy. You don't have to make stuff up. You just say, look at their works. You know people by their works. And Chess in the Schools has been doing that for decades. So to speak about Chess in the Schools, we're going to use Sharu's word, talent.
Talent. Yes,
High-level organization.
Thank you. And I think that's a great way to conclude our event. But wanted to circle around and say thank you very much to everyone who participated. Again, special appreciation to Chess 24. All the grandmasters that played, Sam Shankland, Andrew Tang, Super IM John Bartholomew. Special thanks to the Chess in the Schools, staff. Sean Smith, Chess 24, Pascal Charbonneau, Therese, who's, burning beyond the midnight oil overseas in Europe, really making sure that this event went on without a hitch. Chess at 3 that helped us out. And also Jen Shahade, I can't underscore the importance of Jennifer Shahade. Your support means so much to us. Thank you for your friendship and also for helping us to make this an amazing event. We blew through our goal. Initially, we were going for 30,000 and we ended up at 40,000. That's 33% above what we expected for an event first of this kind. We couldn't ask for a better result. And all of your support means the world to Chess in the Schools. So thank you.
Quad.
Now pause.
Thank you, Quad. And I think that, the 30,000 goal, by the way, it made me think about what Maurice said about setting high goals, trying to be great, because that's a great goal. But not only did you meet it, but you blew past it and you raised $40,000, which it's not about, $40,000, but thinking about all the different children who are going to be entertained and educated because of that money. So it's beautiful to see, Quad, and thank you for inviting me to co-host this tonight.
This was great. All right. Well, you guys have been great with your time. We will release you to the evening. Have a safe evening. Therese, have a safe morning. And until the next time, join us again next year for the second annual Fall Chess Challenge. Thank you, GM Maurice, Ashley, as well.
Thank you.
And everybody have a great evening.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.